Hi, today I wanted to talk with you about neuroplasticity. It's a term that's starting to get seen more and more, and it's a very hopeful concept that I think not everybody maybe fully understands or realizes what it is. So I wanted to talk with you briefly about neuroplasticity. The general concept is that our brains are always changing. We are not hardwired at any point in time. There was sort of an old way of thinking that at some point in life, in age, our brains had as many neurons as they were ever going to have, and that was that. And after that, it was just losing neurons and the brain starting to sort of die off. And what we've learned is that that's not true. Even well into old age, you can still make new neurons and have new connections. There are actually a type of stem cell in the brain that is growing new cells. So there's a lot of hope there because it tells us that there's always room for change and the possibility of change. An analogy that I've heard that I really like for neuroplasticity is that you can think of, so in our brain we have maps for different things, is sort of the language used. And the map is all the different neurons and sections of the brain that light up regarding a certain topic. So you have a pain map if there's a certain body part that hurts or from an accident you had. And that map includes any sounds that were associated with the accident, the feeling, your emotions, your mood. All kinds of different parts of the brain light up in that pain map. You can also have a map for your grandma. What did she smell like? What did she always cook? And you have a taste memory associated, or the feel of her hugs, or you have a map in your brain that represents your grandma. You have a map in your brain that represents pain, and for all other experiences and things, there are sort of these representations in the brain. Those maps can be changed. However, that takes concerted effort, sustained and dedicated and persistent effort to change our brain maps. And the analogy that I heard regarding neuroplasticity and how it works, I found really helpful, so I wanted to share that with you. The analogy is, think of taking a big boulder and standing at the top of the mountain and rolling the boulder down a mountain. If you do that enough times, that boulder is going to break through the brush, it's going to tear out the little plants in the way, and it's going to make a path, a groove. The more you do that, the more you roll that boulder down the mountain, the more that groove is going to get really established. So where soon you'll just barely have to touch the boulder, it's going to roll right down that path pretty easily. Now that's kind of like these maps that we can have in our brain. So say that map you may have for pain, back pain. Now all you need is one little nudge, a smell, a memory, even a mood that you were in that's in that pain map to send the boulder down the mountain and kind of light up that pain sensation. The map can be changed, but like with the boulder, if you want to now roll the boulder down a new part of the mountain, it's going to take some effort again. That boulder is going to want to fall back into that old groove, that old path, and you're going to have to purposely and with effort roll it down a new path several times to kind of break down the little bushes and things in the way to make that new groove. And over time, that old path is going to grow back in, weeds and things will grow back into it. It'll become less tempting for that boulder to want to go down the old path. So that's kind of how neuroplasticity works. There's ways that our brain are sort of set up because of experience, our history, that are now very easy patterns for us to continue. And that can be a feeling like pain, a memory of a relationship like grandma. That can also be mental health functions, things like that, thought patterns that we have, always beating ourselves up or always being optimistic. It can be good things too. So those patterns and ways that we function can become very hardwired in the sense that it's very easy. Our brain's efficient, it wants to do something that it already knows how to do. So the hope is that it can be changed. The sort of tough love part is that it takes a lot of sustained effort, a lot of persistence, and a lot of really intentional dedication to change any part of our brain, whether that's a physical feeling, a bad thought pattern that we have, but it can be done. So I hope that analogy helps you, and if you have any kind of a bad pain map or thought in your brain that needs working on, please reach out to me for help.